Hello guys, what's up? How are you? Regular viewers to the channel will remember that when I was in Cornwall a month or so ago, I did an unboxing for a product. I did an unboxing for this, the Pro Standard mouth mount, and at the time I said I would do a review. Here is that review. If anyone wants to see the unboxing, I ordered it from Magic Seaweed. It's simply just an unboxing video, but I'll link it below. It was great service from Magic Seaweed as always, and great little box and packaging that this came with. One of the things that I think I touched on in the video was that you get pretty much just the mouth mount. It goes in just like this. And when you get it, these bite pads, I think they call them, are basically like a rubbery type material, and you can heat some water, boil some water, you dip them in, let it cool a bit, and you bite in. So the first thing I want to say is I think that's a great feature. When I took it out of the box and tested it and put it in my mouth, it seems loose, kind of. It's not, you've not got a great grip on it. Just that ability to mould it to your gums, you'll probably be able to see how the gums are really, it's trying to focus on me. And when you hold it in your mouth, that really does give it some stability, which when you're paddling out, or you're duck diving through a wave, is really nice to know that that's solidly in your mouth. Aside from that, there aren't really any particularly special features about it. That said, I don't think a product has to be really complex to be good. I really rated this mount. I've never used a mouth mount before. In previous times when I'd filmed using the GoPro in my mouth, I'd used a foam back door and just bit the back door down. I'll link to that footage, or I'll show some up here right now. You can kind of see with that footage, it's fine. Ignore the greyness, by the way. That's not fair to judge the mouth mount on that. That was more because it was a pretty rubbish day, and so it was overcast, and I'd also managed to get wax on the lens, so it's pretty hazy. But you'll notice the footage goes right down towards my feet largely, so it's kind of good, but it's not great, and that's what motivated me to get a mouth mount. When you got this, you'll see now. When I filmed with that, firstly it was in better conditions, so again, ignore that, but you can definitely see how it still gets the board in, but it manages to get the horizon in and the wave as well, which is what I was looking for. So it did exactly what I wanted it to. And for the price, it really wasn't too much. I got it on sale on Magic Seaweed. I can't remember how much I paid. I'll check and I'll pop a note at the bottom now. I couldn't have personally made anything this good at home. I've seen loads of DIY mouth mounts out there on the internet, and my view with mounts for GoPros in particular is that I'm happy to pay for them, because it's the safety of your camera at the end of the day. If you have a crap mouth mount that, I don't know, say this part broke and you lose your GoPro, you'd be devastated. It's worth the relatively small amount of money compared to the camera. So great design, simple but great. Great price point. It's not going to break the bank. As I say, it sounds expensive maybe for a piece of plastic, but it really isn't that bad. Any negative features? I want to do a totally, as I have previously my wetsuit reviews and things, an unbiased review, so it wouldn't be fair to not touch on the negative points. Things I saw as negative, firstly I suppose it's not a negative point of the review, but one thing you see online on their website is they promote how you can sort of use like this to paddle out with, and when I have it like this now, that feels like that'd be possible. When I had my GoPro in it, however, it wasn't really feasible. It kind of wobbled about too much. When I went to duck dive, it was kind of annoying having the mount there, so that wasn't as usable, but it didn't prevent me. I tend to use these, I'll do a separate video on how I set up to film, but I whack a leash through here in the gap, a bodyboarding bicep leash. I've not got it to hand at the moment, so I've got bicep leash on, this attached here. I can hold it in my mouth when I'm paddling, but because I use a battery pack on my GoPro when I'm in the sea, so I've got more footage, I just throw it around my neck and paddle with it around my neck, and just be careful it doesn't come back and hit me in the face. Speaking of hitting you in the face, brings me to our next downside, and I don't think this will be something which is only subject to this mouth mount. I think any GoPro mouth mount is probably going to have a similar thing, but I found that when it was in my mouth, if I fell off or jumped off forward, there was a bit of movement and it kind of knocked on my front two teeth. Whether that's just the shape of my body or not, I don't know. So I was a bit worried that it was gonna knock my teeth out or something. Particularly, I think, if you let go, if you went to spit it out before you went down, so it was loose in your mouth, you really could end up with a nasty injury. So be careful of that. And for the same reason, I wouldn't recommend it for any other action sport like skateboarding or snowboarding or anything. It'd be great for it, you could get some great footage, but if you fell and hit your face, it's not going to be particularly pretty. Similarly, talking of hitting the face, when you're paddling out, you're obviously, if you are holding it in your mouth, and again I had a battery pack on here, so it was maybe sticking a bit further out than what other people would. I did find it hitting the board a bit, it wasn't too annoying, just bend your back a bit more. It was only catching it as well, but it certainly wasn't too bad. They are the only negative points, so all in all I would recommend this product if you're wanting footage from a point of view angle, and I'll link the full videos that I filmed with these below. I'm a very average surfer, if that, so they're not pro standard videos. They're very much where you could probably film yourself at home and edit together, and they're great to look back on. It's really nice to get to the end of a session and the session's not over essentially. You can go home, watch your footage and relive it almost, and it's quite cool to look back in the months after if you take a bit of time to do it, to watch. I also filmed some bodyboarding footage on this, worked great with that, so other water sports I think it'd work great with. I've never used any other mouth mount, so I can't compare it directly, but this one I definitely would recommend if you're after one. I certainly think the angle of filming POV, point of view, is better than the angle of people who insist on having it facing them. I've never understood that because I just haven't. I don't know why people would want to watch themselves surf and not see the waves and everything. For me, I enjoy surfing for not watching myself and what I can do for the ocean and what's around me. So this lets you relive that at the best and sort of share that with other people as well. Even you'll see in my videos that I'll link below, that then it's not hollow. Don't get me wrong, POV footage is going to be far better when it is hollow, and I hope to take this out sometime when it is, and I'll get the footage on the channel when I do. But even when it wasn't, the footage still looked pretty good, I thought. If anybody else has any experience with any other mouth mounts, I'd love to know what you think. I personally rate this and would recommend it. As I say, there were a few negatives. I don't think those negatives apply just to this mouth mount though. I think that's something that's going to be across the board with most of them. Although I said there's not many features on it, there is what they call this breathe hole here, and it has been well designed so that when it's in your mouth, I didn't feel too restricted. Obviously it's not my normal breathing. It's not like I'm stood here now, I can just breathe. There is something restricting it. Again, that's something that's going to be probably common in all mouth mounts though. So on the whole, I'd probably rate this about a 9 out of 10 to be honest. I know that seems high, but you know what it does when you buy it. It's nothing too special, it is just a mouth mount. And does it do its job? Yeah, perfectly. Is it safe? I'd say so. It looks pretty solid to me. It's really stiff and tough. You can get a leash through here, which is something I really wanted. There's thought gone into it with the moulding. I'd say it deserves a 9 out of 10. There's not, the faults with it are generic faults, the thing with the teeth and hitting your board and things like that. I think that's going to be common across most mouth mounts, so I'm not going to knock too many points off it for that. If anybody else has ever used one of these, I'd love to know what you think. Let us all know in the comments below. And it gives you guys watching a bit of an extra insight into what other people think of this product as well, rather than just me. I will, as I say, get a video up on the channel of how I set up to film, including how I put my leash through, because there was something I learned about how to keep the leash out away from going in front of the camera, which you may find useful if you decide to have a similar setup. If you've used this mount or any others like it, please let me know in the comments below and share with us your opinions on this or any other, which may help the other people viewing it decide themselves whether it's a purchase they want to make. If there's anything you don't think I've covered in this review, again, go to the comments below, pop a message in there, and I will try and give you the answer to your question as honestly and as best as possible. I don't know what information you guys want. I've tried to cover all the key things that I could think of and that I noticed, but everyone when they're shopping is looking for different things, so if you have any specific questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them in the comments below, or alternatively on Twitter or Facebook, the links to which are in the description to this video. Thank you very much guys, and I will see you later.